All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son,
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Kakadash.
And double honors to that apostles of the great millstone that taught us this truth, and as well as Yahawashi, Brakatham, to the church of the elect, which is the 144,000 and the 1/3 that are following. This is all about the elect, whom this word is for. And I don't know what I'm going to title this lesson, but it's going to be centered around being a part of the disciplehood of who we call Yahawashi. Okay, and I first want to begin by reading the book of Luke 12 and 40, right?
Is it 6 and 40?
6 and 40.
Right.
With that.
Luke chapter 6 starting at verse 40 says, the disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master.
Right, and everyone that is perfect shall be as his master. So who is the master? Our master, our spiritual master is Yahawashi. Now, doesn't it read in the book of Matthew 5, that we should be as perfect as our Father in heaven? So if you can, brother, pull that out as well. Because basically, just like I've mentioned in past times doing the video, which was, not too long ago, I mentioned that Yahawashi is the epitome of perfection. So we have to uphold his example. And there's men that are upholding that example, and we're supposed to do the same by following under the discipline of the Lord, of his only begotten Son. Right. And that's through this knowledge. Go on, brother.
This is Matthew 5 verse 48. It says, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
Right. Even as your Father in heaven which is perfect. So when you go into, I believe it's somewhere in the New Testament, when Yahawashi told Philip, because Philip was inquiring who the Father was. So Yahawashi told him, have you not so long been with me? And he said that if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. So what we're supposed to do, once again, is to uphold the ways of Yahawashi. And like I said, there's men that have showed that example, that are showing this example today, right now. So we don't have an excuse to abscond from that way. Okay, like it says in the scriptures, it says that there is the good way, walk ye in it. I'm roughly paraphrasing. So we have the good way, we have the knowledge that upholds us to acknowledge his ways. Okay, as it is also written in the book of Psalms, kiss the Son lest he be angry. What does that mean? Meaning to acknowledge his ways and then act on his ways. And therefore you keep order, because Yahawashi is about peace. So when you uphold his ways and you rehearse those righteous acts, you're upholding his peace. And it's funny because when he comes back, he's going to bring peace on the earth. So what better way to keep the peace by following after his ways? Go on, brother.
Back in Luke 6 and 40 again. The disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be his master.
Right, and everyone that is perfect. Read it again.
Luke 6 and verse 40 again. The disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master.
As his master, because his master is perfect. Our master is perfect. So we're not going to, obtain total perfection because we're alive and well in the flesh. So there's not going to be no perfection until we're changed. But we have to rehearse the righteous acts of perfection to be perfect, literally. And that is the discipline that we are now under. And this is why we have become disciples of the one who is perfect. Like Yahawashi had the 12 disciples. They were under the disciplinary of Yahawashi. Just like we are under the disciplinary of Yahawashi. So that would then in turn make us disciples. So now we are no longer having liberty to do what we want to do. We got to walk the walk that Yahawashi walked. We got to do the things that he did, and as well as the men that were under him. Again, going back, we have the examples in the books, and as well as we have the examples that are alive and well in his physical playing field. That's with us to this very well time and day. Okay, which is the apostles. Go on, brother.
A couple of these precepts to back up your point, Elder. This is Psalms 119, starting at 103. How sweet are thy words unto my taste,
God.
yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way.
And that's David talking. So when you go astray from the ways of righteousness, and you start being what? Self-driven, fleshly in this case, you start going in wrong ways. So David said, I hate every wrong way.
Yep.
Because he's been engulfed by the knowledge, which is of the right way. So I want you to read that again.
Psalms 119, 104. Through thy precepts I get understanding.
Yeah, because it's the precepts. As it is also written that precept is upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Okay? And that's how you get the understanding. So when you meditate on the precepts, whenever you get the chance to, this is why you got to study, then guess what? You're bringing back to yourself the spirit of the scriptures, which is the Holy Spirit. And once the Spirit is upon you, now you're able to operate the correct way. And scripture tells you that fast and prayer is required. So once you apply that in your day-to-day life, now you don't have to fast like every week. You could do it like every once a month. So when you do these things, you're taking on the discipline. And every time you take on the discipline, you become a better individual. You become perfect, and in ways to showcase that you are a minister of the Most High. Because that's what Yahawashi and the disciples did. They all fast and pray. So we have to exact the same image as the four prophets. Go on, brother.
Psalm 119, 105. None. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet,
right,
and a light unto my path.
Right, exactly. So we're in the world of darkness. Doesn't it say that gross darkness to people?
Yep.
So just because we're in darkness, that doesn't necessarily mean we don't have no hope. There is hope because we have the light. So if we uphold the light, then we can know where we're going. We know exactly what, like I said, we know where to go. So there's no excuse of you going in the wrong way. We can go the right way because we have the light, which makes sure that we're able to go in the right direction so that we don't bust into a wall, knock into a wall. Okay? So when you're going astray from the light, now you're blind. You can't see. So now you're going to stop groping all of a sudden, doing all of this. You don't have to do all of that because you have the light. So with the light comes you being able to see where you need to go. All right? Go on, brother.
Psalms 119, 106. I have sworn and I will perform it, that I will keep thy righteous judgments.
God, I have sworn that I will perform it and keep thy righteous judgments. So even though David is saying this upon himself, but this also applies to us as well. We have to uphold these judgments, which keeps us out of danger. If we walk in the ways of the people, then guess what? We're going to find ourselves getting the judgment, being put to death. All right, go on, brother.
If I may say, because what is it that separates us from them? If you're behaving like the people of the world,
God,
then you're like the people of the world.
That's it.
We hope to be of the elect, and that's what we pray for. We hope to be of the elect, and that's what we're hoping and praying and working towards. But if you keep doing the same things that the rest of these people out there are doing, when the scriptures clearly tell you you should not be conducting yourself in that way, then how can you be surprised when you suffer the same judgment as they do?
Exactly, because you're no different than them. You've become likened unto the people of the world. So we have to be the holy men that the Lord allowed us to be, man, in his power, by having us separate from these people. We can't do what these people are doing. We have to embrace the fact that because we're separate from the people are not going to take a liking to us. Because you got certain brothers, they think this truth is going to make them look admirable in the eyes of people. That's not the case for the most part. 97% of the times you're not going to be admirable. You're going to be despised and hated because the world hates Yahawashi anyway. Okay? Now, doesn't it also say that the world will love its own, but because you are not of it, they despise you? I'm roughly paraphrasing the scripture.
Yeah, John 15.
You want, brother, you can get that.
I just got one before that though. This is Micah 2 and 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you,
Yeah.
even with a sore destruction.
And these people have been destroyed by this world. The lies throughout the media and everything, and it's transformed their minds to believing things that they never even thought they could believe in. Like if we were to go back to the 1950s and, realize how people were thinking at the time and what they were against. Okay? Nowadays, people are embracing things that they wouldn't embrace years ago. That's how I really wanted to say. The majority of the population are embracing things that they wouldn't have embraced 67 years ago, or even, let's just say, 40 years ago. We ain't gotta even go that far. So this world has surely destroyed the minds of the people that believe in things that's totally against nature. Okay? And because of it, they're sick, and they will be destroyed because of these acts, if they keep doing these acts. So we need to separate from this world. Not we have to separate because we've already been separate from the world, but we have to basically stay on the right hand side, man, because the world is on the left hand side. All right, go on, brother.
This is John chapter 15, starting at verse 18. If the world hates you, you know that it hated me before it hated you.
That's the point. Go on.
If you were of the world, the world would love his own.
Right, the world will love its own because you're incongruent with the world. You're taking on their same vibration. You're under the same wavelength. Let me use that instead. You're under the same wavelength of these people in the world. So when you take on Yahawashi, now you've entered into his world. You're cut from a different cloth. So they don't recognize you. They look at you differently. They don't like you. Or some people may like your aura. They may like your energy. Okay? Because you're bearers of the light. The kingdom of heaven is within us, which is what? The knowledge of the kingdom of heaven is within us, which is the light. So the light is going to shine forth from us. We're going to look different. People are either going to like you, or for the most part hate you. Because this world is not the world of Yahawashi. It's the world of Shaitan. Go on, brother.
Back in John 15, verse 18 again. If the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you. And if you were of the world would love his own.
Yeah.
But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you.
Right. Therefore the world hateth you. And just to be more specific, the world that he was talking about was the Israelites. Because you have what? You have the world of the elect, and as well as you have the world of the 2/3. So the majority of our people. So the majority of our people during the times of the disciples, and as well as, of course, Yahawashi, they didn't take a liking to him. So we can't be out here trying to get, likes and seeking to be admired by the majority of your people. Now, if you're expecting that, then you don't know the scriptures. Let's read that again. I want you to read that again so we can hit home to that point, man.
John 15, 18 again. If the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you.
God.
If you were of the world would love his own.
In other words, if you were of the majority of the Israelites at the time, then they would love you. But because what?
But because ye are not of the world.
Because you are not of the world. Go on.
But I have chosen you out of the world.
Okay.
Therefore the world hateth you.
Therefore the world hateth you. So the majority of your own people are going to hate you. That's what you should be expecting. You shouldn't expect people to like you.
Exactly.
Like I said, if you're expecting people to like you, you teaching this world, you don't know the scriptures. You're not reading the scriptures. You're reading it, but you're not comprehending the scriptures. That's why it says, blessed are they that read it. If you can pull that out, that's just a
Revelation 3, yeah.
Come on.
So Revelation 3 verse, Revelation 1 verse 3, I believe.
Because you got these camps out here, they teaching all of Israel, trying to save all of Israel. You ain't going to save all of Israel. The elect are going to be gathered together and receive this word. This word is for the elect. It's for the elect. It's for the elect. All right? None of them. Go on, brother.
Revelation 1 verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand.
Right, and also keep those things that are written therein. So yeah, you can read the scriptures and gather the scriptures in your mind. But Are you going to be willing to keep these things even in the time of Jacob's trouble? But in keeping these things, like I said, you got to know and understand these things that are written. And what I'm talking about, which we're going to move forward, is knowing that the majority of Israel is not going to take a liking to this truth. They're not going to take a liking to it.
Precept.
Because they are not of Yahawashi. Go on.
James chapter 4 verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High God?
Right. Okay.
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High
Right.
God.
So whoever is a friend of the world is an enemy of the Most High God. So even though this is talking about the majority of Israel, but this can also apply to the actual world that we are in, and as well as the world that they were in. Because the majority of Jacob, they were so consumed in the ways of how things were going in the society that they were in.